So I made a video last night about the Karen case and a couple things I wanted to point out. So they're talking about how she was just standing in the bedroom one day, like staring at the bed or in the middle of it. So I talk about a lot about in my videos about removing consciousness and things. What you have to understand is they murdered Dawn, but they tried to frame me. So they tried to put my consciousness in Karen's body. But again, when you love yourself and you walk with God, they can't do that. They can't trap you like that. It's what you can't. So you'll see there's behavioral changes. So again, when she was stuck standing staring at the bed, it was because all of a sudden I was there and I didn't even know where the fuck I was or what was going on. Then there's a part too, like she's talking about when she's frantic running around, blah, 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 blah. Because she's a psychopath, number one. Number two, she's on drugs. And she's talking about period blood because they're into fucking necrophilia. So she did, and to group orgies. So she did have period blood on her because she had her period, but she was fucking the group, including dead John. The phone call where she's like, "You fucking pervert." He went into that house and he went into the bathroom and he was jerking off to videos that I had made. You have to understand too that they can, like, when they change consciousness, and they can change the way they look and sound, and they have magical abilities and technical abilities to edit timestamps and to look and sound different than they are. So another reason, and again with the geolocation shit of her phone and implying that she drove home, no, Colin the kid busted out the taillight and he drove the car back. um Bella, that they keep mentioning, that nobody, for some reason, don't you think, like, again, everybody's like, who's Bella? I know Bella. I also know that the Brian Albert dude is also this guy who does a podcast called Better Together. Because again, you have to understand they're more than one person. They jump around and again, I don't understand the technicalities, even though I know a lot, okay, because I'm tight with God. I get all my information from God and from, because too, when they memory erase you or drug you or try to use the Neuralink, like programming through music or coding and hypnosis shit, you can break all that. No matter what demonic bullshit they try to do through drugs or compelling looking through my eyes. I made a video before too. Best way to beat that is glasses, reflective glasses. They can't, demons and witches can't compel you if you have on the reflection that reflects back to them. Or even they are not going to be compelling if they have on these glasses. Even regular eyeglasses can protect you. Even like safety glasses. Like, so you might look like a weirdo, but I recommend walking around with them everywhere you go because you never know who's who. So also too, they also call each other like honey poppy, papa, or papa's honey. Um, and again, these people have multiple houses and multiple cars because they're multiple consciousness and bodies. So that's relevant. Um, these people too, they live in Boston, but they also live across the street from me and in my neighborhood. And instead of names like Carrie and Karen and Jen, their names are like Sadie and Destiny and Jess. And also too, if you look, so at the in the first episode of Rotten Mango's podcast, she did a really great job of having this board with all these people and color coded systems. But also too, if you like, I was talking about consciousness being split, and they talk about it being relatives, but what they don't understand is it's the same person. And so I made a different video about being this Chinese lady that went into the woods and disappeared for 17 days, and that there was 5 people that went into that were the reason that she got called into the woods. And if you look at the main like news interviews of, it's the 5 people. These are the 5 main people of this demonic cult, coven, gang, whatever you want to call it. They're fucking weirdos and they're gross. Gross. When I say gross and depravity, the depravities and inequities and abominations that these people do are just beyond what you would think of for normal people's definition of evil or gross. So I was saying the best way to beat this, to not be trapped in these bodies, because again, so there's a different part where, again, I was Karen, but if you look at there's like a picture that TMZ posted of her outside a restaurant, or a video, right, where the lawyer supposedly puts his arm around her. First of all, I was Karen again, and if you look at the person who's supposed to be Karen, the hair's not right, the body's not right, because again, your soul remembers you, so it shines through in certain ways. It's really important to pay attention to bone structure, mannerisms, and your eyes. But if you also watch, so the actual lawyer guy is standing, you see his like face cut off, and he's like taking a photo from the other direction, because he is taking a photo from the other direction. And the guy that puts his arm like around Karen, like for messing around, isn't the actual like lawyer guy. It's a guy they're warlocks, and that's, again, they have to be like looking at the person that they're putting this projection, mimic, illusion, magic on. This is another reason too, that if you watch, she's like walking like dazed or doesn't really know what's going on, but he grabs her, like he's like, it's like a possession, like a quick. It was all plotted and orchestrated to look like that, because again, they were trying to frame Karen, but they weren't trying to frame Karen, they were trying to frame me for John's sacrifice or murder. So again, I'm caught off guard, and don't really, you see the face, it's not really like I was joking or a part of it. Like, again, still your days. And that, like, I was talking too about this like little needle they can put in your eye, and it takes over your frontal cortex, and like for 40 minutes at a time they can either see through you or move through you. There was also one time too, like I was taken somewhere and they drew my blood, and like they had put some weird like needle in my kneecap. So again, this is like can control you up to like 40 minutes at a time, your body, your movements. And again, thanks to God and some angels, like somehow I went somewhere else at a different time, and somebody took the needle thing out of my leg. And I don't know about the eye thing, but again, it's all crazy. But it's so crazy, it just might be real life. Especially if you take into account the fact that I literally live in the area where Rod Serling's Twilight Zone was created. And if you understood, if you ever lived here, visited here, in this Doom County, the Triple Cities, this little, I call it the armpit because it's so fucking dock. I got, like, I'm channeling the Boston accent, the dock. We're in the dock, yeah. But anyway, so I was saying the best way to not be trapped in these other bodies or through these other things, always God. God. Trust God 1000%. It's so simple. But the other thing is to love yourself. To love yourself. Because again, that's how they literally can trap you, is when you get fear, when you let them harvest and feed off this fear and perpetuate and make you think you're crazy, and to make you doubt God or to doubt yourself. Because again, if you have to goose brava, stay calm and just love yourself. Because if you love yourself, you can't be trapped in another body. You can't be. If you love God and you have faith in God, they can bury you alive, they can stab you, shoot you, kidnap you, take you across seas, lock you in a steel little room underground, do all kinds of crazy things to you, but God will always come and find you. He will always pull you through. 1000% facts, Carfax. Um, so yeah, like I said, so the voicemails that she was leaving, you're a pervert. I told you he went into the party, he went into the bathroom, he didn't give a fuck about these people. He was watching my video and did his little thing. That's why she's like, you're a pervert. Also, the calls that were being made from the phone weren't, she wasn't even, all the calls, they weren't for her. Also, there's something called three-way. And you have to understand, these people, they have people that work in like NSA, like high level governments, like even more than the feds or the ATF. So they can literally, and again, these witches and warlocks, so they literally can edit these things to make it look like something else. And but anyway, yeah.